hope they enjoy that celebration. Now, she was one of the world's biggest stars, but she never forgot her Northwest roots. And this weekend, her hometown of Rochdale pays tribute to our Gracie.
The highlight of a weekend of celebrations will be the unveiling of a statue of Gracie Fields on Sunday. Well, tonight there is a ball at Rochdale Town Hall. Stuart Flinders is there for us now. Stuart.
Yes, magnificent building this, isn't it? The champagne is already on ice. A full weekend of Gracie Fields events, the unveiling of the statue you've mentioned. There's a mass sing-along tomorrow, and Seb Lissandro from the Gracie Fields Appreciation Society has brought along his special memorabilia, and this is your particular favourite, isn't it?
Yeah, this one is Gracie's visa document when she emigrated to America in 1940, and the British press turned against her because she moved abroad.
It caused quite a lot of bad feeling, that, didn't it? Now, Seb, you're quite a young guy. What is it about Gracie Fields, who seems to be from another age, that appeals to you?
I think it's the persona, the star quality that she had. She was the world's first superstar, and I think she never forgot her humble roots from Rochdale, which is why we're celebrating her here this weekend.
All right, Seb, well, thanks for that. We're going to have a look at that statue, well, sort of, in a minute, but here's a reminder of what made Gracie Fields so special. There was a time when it seemed the whole world could sing along to Gracie's signature song, Sally. She was a big name on both sides of the Atlantic, the world's highest paid film star of 1937.
Don't you run away with my rock!
In public, she presented a version of her own real self, the mill girl born over a chip shop.
Back it's Gracie.
Her visits home were big news. Cue Cod Lancashire voiceover.
Hollywood may have left its mark on her, but by gum, she's still our Gracie.
The only thing he ever says is by gum.
Just look at the crowds. This is Rochdale in 1947.
And then when you come home and I see such faces looking at me like I've got down there, well, I tell you, it's something. He tells her he loves her again and again. She thinks he is honest and true. And then on the night that he gave her champagne, he did what he ought not to do.
There were countless appearances to cheer the troops during the Second World War, but many of her fans turned against her when she spent much of it living in the United States. Her visits home, right up to her death in 1979, continued to attract the crowds, though.
Please remember me.
Please remember me, a line in one of Gracie's songs. This weekend, Rochdale does. Well, one of the highlights will be the unveiling of the statue, right where you saw all those crowds in that archive. Amazing crowds, weren't they? I don't know what it looks like, but I know a man who does, and it's the sculptor who is Sean Hedges-Quinn. Just tell us about it. What's it like?
Well, it's a labour of love, really. I mean, to be honest, I mean, hopefully, I'm really
What does it look like?
Well, it looks like Gracie Fields. I very much hope it looks like Gracie Fields in all her pomp, in the best years of her life in the 50s, I think.
And what were you trying to sort of capture there? What do you think is the essence of Gracie Fields?
I really wanted to capture her personality, her presence, her stage personnel.
Well, I'm looking forward to seeing it. You know they're looking for a Victoria Wood statue in Bury. Have you got your name down for that?
I am very aware, and yes, I have.
Well done. All right, thank you for joining us, Sean.
Thank you very
so
much.
a lot of Gracie Fields events going on here this weekend.
Oh, thanks, Stuart.
What does it look like?
I'm glad it looks like Gracie Fields. That's an
You
advantage.
spot the one person who isn't going to the ball, though. Everyone else who got their dinner jackets on, except for old Stuart.
We're on to sport now.
Hello, good evening. Welcome to the news and sport from ITV Granada. The Rochdale singer Dame Gracie Fields has been honoured in her hometown today. The statue of the singer, who died in 1979, has been officially unveiled there to the delight of the fans who turned out for a first glimpse. Tim Scott reports.
37 years after her death, Gracie Fields gets a statue in her hometown. Rochdale's Town Hall Square was packed with fans as the monument was finally revealed.
It stands out such a long way. It's absolutely brilliant. I love it.
I think it's fantastic that they should put a monument to her. I think it's overdue, a long overdue.
Born in Rochdale in 1898, Gracie was already a West End star before she became the force's sweetheart during World War II for her performances for the troops. Today, her friend and fellow entertainer Roy Hudd was on hand to pay tribute both to the lady herself and the new statue.
Well, I think it's absolutely terrific. It really does capture exactly what she was like.
How do you think she'll be remembered?
I think now possibly mostly for the songs, because she was just the most marvellous singer.
And the statue will now form part of the purple plaque Gracie Fields tourist trail around Rochdale. Tim Scott, ITV News.
The Westmoreland.
Now, a statue of the late Dame Gracie Fields has been unveiled in her hometown of Rochdale today as part of a series of commemorations to mark the star this weekend. Katie Alderman reports.
Gracie. The mill girl born over a chip shop in Rochdale. But Gracie Fields became the world's highest paid actress in the 1930s. She never forgot her Northwest roots though, and her hometown never forgot her. Her visits back always drawing huge crowds. And now, almost 40 years since her death, the crowds have returned once again to honour our Gracie here in her hometown.
She'd have loved it, absolutely loved it. And she would have sang. She would have stood there without any instruments or orchestra, and she'd have just sang to everybody.
I think it's absolutely beautiful. It's just how everyone who ever saw her can imagine her being. People have been asking for it for years.
And here's the sculptor tasked with bringing Gracie back to life.
Everybody at Matted had seen it in clay form, and that is the nerve-wracking bit. That's the bit where I'm going, ooh, they might hate it. But when they like the clay, and everybody's happy with the clay, then the bronze is just a copy of the clay, and I know they're going to like it.
Thank you. Straight to me.
The unveiling of the statue marks the culmination of a series of events here in Rochdale to celebrate the life of our Gracie, and it's in a very fitting location.
This was the centre point of all her visits home to Rochdale, and she stood in front of the church where she was christened, where her parents were baptised, looking out over the town that she loved so much, and I think the location is perfect, and she's shining in all her glory once again in her hometown.
I'm worried that people have forgotten her, so this is going to be a great reminder. Above all, we've still got her recordings.
Please remember me, a line from one of Gracie's songs, and now thanks to this permanent memorial, Rochdale always will. Katie Walderman, BBC North West Tonight.
Sports and Manchester.